right, I'm on my way to a bookstore in Casselbery, Florida, near Orlando, called Bright Light Books. And I've been to Bright Light Books a few times, 2, maybe 3 times. Every time I've bought something cool. The last one I was here, I got The Running Man, the first edition, first print, soft cover of that book, one that had been on my list of books that I wanted to get for a good long while, and I got it at a very good price. Not a steal, but a price cheaper than I could have gotten it for on the eBay. And I've picked up other books, signed Franklin Library editions. I think one was what was it, Deliverance, and one was The Collector. I've picked up some books. I've done some videos. I can't recall every last one, but I'm in the area working, yellow, and I wanted to come in here while I'm here, see if there's anything else cool. So I'll show you a little bit about what this joint looks like, and if you want, come shopping with me. But the deal is, I'll buy, you pay. Here is the Bright Light Books, and some bookstores will blow your mind from the outside, and the inside is different. Some bookstores from the outside don't look like much, and you go in and it's a big surprise. But I'm very interested to see how it goes, and you'll see that this bookstore, when you go inside, is much different than what it looks like from the outside. It's got a lot of aisles and a lot of books, and hopefully I'll find something that I could use for the collection that I can afford to pay for. They got a bunch of stuff outside, and I don't know, if thinking back, if I've ever bought books off the outside of a store before. I have something that I wanted to read a time or two, but for the most part they're putting stuff out here because they don't really care about it anymore. I always have to look. It's a temptation that I cannot resist. I keep thinking, gosh, one of these days I'm gonna find something for a quarter that I really need. So let's give it a shot. Let's not completely ignore nonfiction. What are you looking for in nonfiction? My collection is almost exclusively fiction, but I do have a small biography type of a section, and some of the great reads of my life have been nonfiction, but as you can see, I quickly skipped it. You see anything here you really want? Let me know. I'll pick it up. Again, I'll buy, you pay. $1 each or $7. Gosh, I gotta find something here. $1 each. There's gotta be something that I could use. All right, this is the entrance. It's a cool bookstore. There is a lot of space in here and a lot of books. Some of these sections are stuff that I really have no interest in, but up front you got some signed, some limited edition stuff, and then a little farther back down here we'll end up with Easton Press books, some of the Franklin Library. We got some Folio Society books, which are always neat. I'm going to come back and look a little bit more tightly, search to make sure I'm not missing anything. Out of all these, there's got to be something that I need. And when you got shelves and shelves full of possibilities, it will take time. So I got to go through book by book and see if there's something here I need. And then when you find one that you need, see if you can find one that's at a right price, one that doesn't have a name in it. For some reason, these Easton Press books, everybody wants to put their name in it, their own name in the book. I don't dig that kind of stuff. Over here's where I found some really nice things, a lot of times some really expensive things, valuable things. I need to check the price there. But the price here a lot of times is too high, a little bit higher than the eBay prices, although I have bought books out of these cabinets. So there's a couple here. I want to look up Bird, look up the Larry Bird book, see what they want for that. I'm sure it's signed. And I need a copy of this. I just don't want to pay that much money for it. Always going to have a lot of Stephen King's in practically every limited edition or expensive section at all these bookstores. Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, I've got that copy signed. Grady Hendrix did a good one there. The Devoted. I have that one from SST. One of my favorite publishers out there. I have that one too from Dark Harvest. One of my favorite older publishers. They got some good stuff at this store. And then there you go. Robert McCammon's one of my favorites. Whoever lived. Man, that's a neat set. Matching spines look cool as they work together. See what else they got here. Health. Anybody seen the health section? What do we have here? This is going to be, of course, mystery / thriller. There are a lot of authors in that category. So we're going to have to spend a little bit of time snooping title by title. We got sci-fi, paperback horror, and right down here, this is the section that gets a lot of attention. I love it when bookstores have hardcover horror sections. So I got to go over here and take a look. I think I did find it. I wonder who that guy is. There's some familiar names, but we're going to take a look at our hardcover horror. And then down the aisle, a little farther down to the right, is the softcover horror. If I buy this one, do I get a free $100 Cemetery Dance gift card? I'll have to check that out. They've always got a lot of Stephen King books here. I bought some first edition, first print hardcovers. Nothing crazy in terms of value, but I bought quite a few. Robert McCammon again. I don't have any softcover Boys' Lives, I don't think. Maybe I'll have to check. Already got Gone South. He signed that book for me, and I gave one away. And then lots and lots of good stuff here to look for. Hey, Dungeon Crawler Carl. I just read that one recently. It's definitely a strange sort of storytelling, but a good one. I'd like to have a hardcover with a dust jacket, but I don't want to pay too much. Look at here. Look at here. The Call of Cthulhu. I have a hardcover illustrated edition of this signed by the illustrator, and it's just full of great pictures. Looks like I'm going to have to pick this one up. At that price, I think I just need to add it to the collection and let the right one in. I like this cover. I've got the cool numbered edition from Suntup Editions, but I don't know, $7.99. Then we're looking at the Kuntz. I always got to check out the Kuntz. I'm a fan. Not my favorite author, but I've liked everything I've read from him. Need to read this one. I've never read it before. But this right here, Cemetery Dance version of Gloria. I wonder, it's just a trade. I was wondering if it might have been a signed limited edition stuck in here, but nope. Always lots and lots of choices for horror. What else might there be? There are quite a few great horror books from horror authors, and I've had to check a lot of them just to make sure there's no signed copies, but I see one that I need to add. The Raven by Jonathan Jans, $7.99. Maybe I'll get a chance to meet him again and get it signed. The problem is that sometimes I can't remember what I have and what I don't have. I think I've got this, but I'm not sure. But here's just so many to choose from. Softcover horror, and of course, I wonder who that guy is. Again, you gotta look book by book. Can't ever tell what's here, and I'm sure I'll always will miss something. So since today I got a little bit of time, I'm gonna come back and snoop a little bit more. Sometimes I'll hit these sections once or twice more after searching, but I had to come back here to look at these signed special editions. And the Hex, this is a copy of a book that I really need, the first edition, signed by Thomas Oldhut. Yep. Megan, Thanks a lot, Megan. Thanks for nothing. You get it personalized and then you sell it. I needed that one. I don't like personalized books. But there we go. I read this book. It was amazing and crushing, and I'd love to have a signed copy. Let's see if it's hey, it's not signed to Megan. I want to see if it's a first edition, first print copy. And it is. The number line goes all the way down to 1. And this Cemetery Dance, I just read Scott Carson book, and Michael Corrida is his real name. So let's see. This one is a signed and numbered edition. Number 40 is a great number. I don't know this book. I'm going to have to look it up and see, but a CD book for $40, signed and limited. An author that I have read one of and liked. To check it out. And I don't know what else there is here. And the cabinets. I've already got this, a limited edition, $99, $100 is a pretty good price for my favorite book of last bout. I need Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I need this so bad, but I'm not going to pay that much money for it. I would like to have it though, just a little higher than I want to pay for such a thing. So many cool options here, so many cool books. Again, I think they shop hard to see what they sell for online. And I know a lot of people would like to have a signed edition of Pillars of the Earth. Well, he fell in a well, and I finished shopping, and I finished work, and I drove the couple hours back home, and now I've changed into something a little less yellow, ready to see what I got. I had a big stack of books, and as I walked, I pared it down, kept saying, you don't really need this one, you don't really need that one, don't really need the other one. I don't know if I have this one or not, so I don't want to buy it because I might have it already. So I pared the stack down, and then at the very last minute, waiting at the register, I found one that I figured I couldn't live without, that I didn't know existed, and that right here. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Well, the Headless Horseman, as a child, was one of the scariest things that I could imagine. It was one of the things I was most scared of. Werewolves and Bigfoot were honorable mentions, although I had kind of a weird love affair with Bigfoot. I was scared to death of Bigfoot, living in the woods and spending a lot of time in the woods. I was scared of him. But something deep down inside always wished that he was real and hoped that he really exists. But the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, this one is a Tor softcover. And it's a very, very short story that I've read and loved. And I just loved this edition. I didn't know it existed. I love the cover artwork. I love that it's kind of like a regular old paperback book. And I saw it. It was $3.99. Hopefully these stickers, the stickers from this store always come off easy. I've taken off quite a few. But I know it's not true. But it is a first print from them. Glad to get that. I'm really excited. I mean, that's a $4 book that probably isn't worth anything. I don't know. But I'm really excited about that one. That's a special story to me, and it looks great. And yeah, I spilled the beans. $7.99. I bought the trade soft cover. That was a mass market paperback. I probably said it wrong. This is a trade soft cover of The Raven by Jonathan Jans. And I did an interview with him at AuthorCon 5, Scares That Care. He was a great fella. I did a book review of some of the things that he's written. A great author. And this is a book that I didn't have. And for $7.99, it's tip of the top, cream of the crop. Great shape, trade edition, softcover. So a post-apocalyptic thriller from the modern master of horror and suspense. Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet Jonathan again one of these days, and I'll get this one signed right here. And it says, all cultures share versions of the same legends, vampires, witches, werewolves, and other macabre creatures. There's a reason for this. They were all once real. It's all real. When the missiles containing a terrifying virus first exploded, no one realized what was happening. But within a month, the deprogramming of human DNA became apparent. Millions of years of evolution fell away, revealing the long-forgotten genetic strands that caused people to thirst for blood, to shapeshift, to eat human flesh, to become the monsters we've always feared. Now, 2 years later, Des McClane fights every way to somehow stay alive in this new nightmarish world. He's determined to find the woman he loves amidst the hell that Earth has become. But how long can a man survive in a world full of monsters? Looking forward to this one. Glad to be able to get a nice copy at a good price. I always want to save a few bucks if I can. And the next one I got that I want to show you is a movie novelization. And I'm a kind of guy that loves movie novelizations. I collect movie novelizations for movies that I dig. And when it comes to movies that I dig, Harry and the Hendersons is on my growing up as a kid nostalgia list. I loved this movie growing up. It was fun, lighthearted. I loved the characters in there, and I still do. I can watch Harry and the Hendersons today and have a good time watching it all the way through. And I was able to get a novelization, and there's a couple different covers on these. Never had one before. But this one has the movie cover. The other cover had, I think it had eyes on it or something. It didn't look like the movie. So I like the way this one looks. And it is Harry and the Hendersons, a novel by Joyce Thompson based on a screenplay by William Deere and William E. Martin and Ezra D. Rappaport. So there it is, Harry and the Hendersons. And there is the back of our cover there. When the Hendersons return from their camping trip, they bring back an unusual surprise. Harry. He's 8 feet tall, weighs over 400 pounds, and always makes a big impression. And I always remember Le Fleur. Mon Dieu, they have a language. But this one I almost didn't buy because my good friend Ann Williams, who I've never met, and I'm not very happy with her right now, decided that her name needed to be on the inside of this book. And I still can't tell. I ought to take a pencil eraser. I think it's an ink. I think it's a light blue ink. But I'm going to try an eraser and see if it does anything to it. I don't think so. I think Ann Williams is on my novelization for life. And yeah. Also, I'll always have friend Ann Williams. Now, in most cases on the books, it's got ink written in it I usually don't want. But it's a novelization. It's not like it's worth a lot of money. The fun to me is the story, and I enjoy novelization stories because for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes they give you a different perspective of the movie. They're not always exactly the same. Sometimes they give you more insight. Sometimes they give you more exposition, additional scenes that weren't included in the movie, and in some cases they're considerably different. For example, Predator, the novelization there, the characters were different, and the alien itself in the movie, in the novelization Predator, was different, a different type of an alien altogether. But I've always enjoyed them, mostly because if I like a movie, a lot of times a novelization gives me some extra stuff or slightly different stuff. Enough of variation where it's fun. Plus, I love movies, I love books, and when you can tie them together, to me, it's a cool thing. So it's not worth a pile of money, but it's a fun, happy. I'm glad I was able to find it. Finding something like this at a bookstore makes my bookstore experience for me. But wait, there's more. I was excited to see this. Flesk Publications. And I'm going to go get the limited edition hardcover. So hold that thought. Just wait one moment. Was that quick enough for you? So here's the limited edition hardcover, and here's the soft cover. Looks great. The artwork here is fantastic. Gary Gianni, always great. But I had this one. I think I've shown this one to you. This hardcover version was limited. It seems like, yeah, it was signed and it was remarked. Signed and remarked by Gary Gianni. a very exciting one there. But it's a hardcover book. I bought this, I don't even remember. Somebody clued me in that Flesk had some of these for sale. I couldn't buy it quick enough. I was so excited to be able to get that copy and to see at a bookstore for $7.99, just as nice. A trade edition softcover with the Gary Gianni artwork. The inside flaps fold over. This one probably isn't signed and remarked like that one was, but lots of artwork in here. I'll just show you some of it. There's the back of it. Lots and lots of artwork in this trade softcover. So I don't want to spend all day doing it, but it is chock full of all sorts of illustrations here. Lots and lots. Like I said, I'm not going to show them all to you, but a lot of work was put into this. And man, already having the hardcover, I didn't exactly need this, but I didn't know this existed, this trade softcover. For $8, I couldn't pass it up. What the heck, man? An iconic story, a beautiful edition, and just look at there. All of these illustrations, it's just full of them. Full of them. I have no idea what this, the original version was 1995 Flesk. So it's nice. I've got the hardcover already, and putting that one on the shelf beside it seemed worthwhile to me. And then the last one, one more book I bought. I put a lot of them back, like I said. And this one I paid probably what it's worth, not really a steal. And that's Kristin Hannah's The Great Alone. This is the only book of hers I've read. My wife has read practically all of them. A very popular author with the ladies. And what I've found is a very heavy, lots and lots of bad stuff. Bad things happen to these characters over and over and over. And every time you think things might start to look up, more bad comes. And that kind of heaviness, a great author, a great book. But I don't know if I have the wherewithal, the intestinal fortitude to handle it. I don't think I'm strong enough to be taking this kind of pain over and over and over again. But having read this one, the Alaska, reading the setting in the Alaska, I don't remember the fictional town that it's in, but it's out close to the Homer Spit where I've been. I loved reading about Alaska, and I loved a lot of the things they did. Again, Kristin Hannah's a fantastic author, if this is any indication. But I don't know if I can handle the weight of the drama and the events that go on in her books. From what I hear, they're all kind of like that. Tough, heavy, difficult. And I'm just not tough enough. But I'm really glad to have this one signed by the author. It is Alaska. It is signed by Kristin Hannah, and it wasn't personalized. That whoever that was that Megan? I wanted that book, that Hex. I wanted a signed copy of Hex. I've got signed copies of Hex, but I wanted a first edition. And then this one here being the first edition, first print with a number line that goes all the way down to 1. $65, probably about what it's worth, probably. But it was there, it was in hand, it was signed, it was first edition, first print, it wasn't personalized. I was holding it and looking at it, so I wanted it, had the shot, and I took it. Anyway, thanks for going book shopping with me. Thanks for not paying. You were supposed to pay. I bought, you paid. That was the deal. So next time, make sure you don't forget your wallet. Bring your wallet with you. No more excuses. I buy, you pay. That's the deal. And with that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. And say la vie, baby. Doo-doo.